Hello friends, and welcome to another colour along. Today we are colouring this page called I Don't Think You're Ready for This Jelly, which is from Awake. And it's also part of the September Colour Club pack, which if you don't have all the books, you can just grab the pack and it'll be all the illustrations that I'll be colouring in September. We've been doing these for a while now and they're good fun. Right, we have these two jellyfish, we have these two fish, and we have the challenge of the water background. So where do we start? I think maybe we start with the water background. What I'm thinking is we do light to dark. We sort of work it through that way with maybe some light filtering down. I don't want to colour to the edge of the page. So I'm thinking of creating a border for myself. And the best way to do that may be just to give ourselves a rough outline of a circle. Now you could use a compass, but I've just going to use this plate that I've got. All right, now I just want to be careful where my lines fall because I think once we go over this pencil in marker, it will become entombed. So I just want to knock those back a bit because I don't want those lines to be shown at the end. All right, let's take it on. I'm going to start with a really light frost blue. So I've got my circle key line. I'm going to start with a frost blue. I'm colouring a big space, so I'm just going to keep going with like a wave of this marker coming through. I think I might have the light going bowing down this way. And there's a little gap there, which I don't mind leaving behind. But I just want to go as quickly and as accurately as I can. And that will come around to there, I'd say. All right, just to add a little bit of fun and texture, I'm going to do some little frost blue bits that keep going down. Right, we're going to go for a slightly darker blue, and all I've got here is a turquoise blue. All right, we're going to do the same sort of thing here. Put some little... I could have blended these, which would have been fun too. Or I could even go back and blend in the future, but I thought it could be fun to also have just like step it out with those dots. Okay, let's go with a darker blue. What have I got here? I've got a fresh blue. It's very fresh. I was also tempted from here, from the turquoise, to go into some greens. So that could be another option for you, like a horizon green. And then down that sort of tealy colour. I thought, no, let's just keep it nice and fresh. So here's why we're using fresh blue. See how that works? I think I'm going to bring in another blue. This is cerulean blue. Cerulean blue. Just have a little touch of dark down here. And we'll do the same thing. Try and bring that cerulean blue in little dots up. What do you think? I think that's a fun solution. It gives us sort of the feel of the water, the light coming through the water, and also the little bubbles of water. I'm happy with that. Let's go to our, I guess the jellyfish are going to be our next important thing, aren't they? And you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking of going pink. Let's start with the little one. I'm going to start with a light hot pink. I think I'm going to bring in a darker one. This is raspberry. Can't say that I ever remember using raspberry as a colour for this. But it's a lovely colour. Look at that. And then I think I'm going to bring in something that's even a little, this is cerise, and it's a little bit verging on the fluorescent. But I'm sort of enjoying bringing out that crazy, if you kind of use fun, bright colours, then this is the sort of book to do it in, isn't it? I'm bringing my hot light pink back in just to help blend that in. Maybe blend this in a little bit. Where's my darker one? This is raspberry. That's my darker one, isn't it? Just going to get the raspberry up in there. I think I'll do the same thing to this one. Look at his hat. That's awesome. I have no recollection of drawing that hat. Didn't even register. I was so focused on how to do my water that the fact that he was wearing a hat completely missed that. All right, there's our light hot pink. Let's bring back in our raspberry. Makes me think that they're bandit jellyfish because they're wearing almost a mask of raspberry. They look like they've been up to mischief, don't they? All right, let's bring back in our cerise. I'm just getting this all over my fingers, which is always a danger because you keep touching the page and your hands are coloured with markers. And just a touch down the bottom here of that cerise, and I'm going to bring back my light hot pink just to blend it all. Alrighty, let's look at these tentacles. I think we should bring something that's similar to this but different. So maybe some of these colours, like a potato purple and a dark light violet. I think we'll start with our potato purple up near the body here. And then sort of blend it in with this dark violet light. What am I trying to do with these names? Tongue twister names. And I'm going to bring some of that pink back in. I think I might try some of that light hot pink. I'll tie it all back in for us. Maybe even take it up the spine a little bit just to bring a bit of that transparency back in. See how it sucked out all the bright colour. I'm not sure what it's done to the nib of my pen, but we'll work that out later. All right, happy with that. Let's keep rolling. Potato purple. And then I'm bringing in the dark violet light. Dark light violet. Light dark violet. It's called something like that. Bring back in that light hot pink. get our blend on, and even bring it a little bit up the middle there. Yeah, we'll bring it through into this one as well. To our Bonnie and Clyde of jellyfish. Well, I'm going to do the same to these tentacles. He's got more tentacles. I think it's a he. Looks like a manly hat, doesn't it? Potato purple. Oh, try and colour within the lines, not like me. Oh, that's far enough. Take this one down a bit further because this is a really long tentacle. All right, dark violet light. And back to our light hot pink. This is not a dark, light hot pink dark. Although who knows, there's probably is that colour, isn't there? No offence to light hot pink dark. I'm sure it's a lovely colour. All right, I'm going to bring that dark violet light, the one with the name we all love. Let's do the skirt, that dark violet light. What do you think? A little bit of potato purple in the shadowy areas. All right, let's bring back in our raspberry because I missed a couple of little raspberry spots there. All right, we need a colour to do these fish. I just don't want to mess up what we've done. I'm thinking this could be a good colour palette to go from. So if we throw any of those yellows in, greens in, I think I'm going to go with the blue-grey 030 and maybe like a mauve shadow. Mauve shadow, this is for our, I'm going to do the heads of the fish, the mauve shadow. And I might do the tail, a little bit of mauve shadow. And just bring in my blue-grey 030. This is my attempt to make it look sort of silvery, like a silver fish, without using greys. So it's a blue that's different to the sea blue, because otherwise they'd just disappear. It's got a little bit of grey in it, with the tint of blue. And I'm thinking of even playing with that bright cerise for the fins. And with that mauve shadow, I was going to put some dots in. What do you think? Yeah, I think that's sweet. Might even add a little bit of texture to these guys. Right, I'll bring back the cerise just for the slash of this hat. The lash slash, what is that? The band that's around the hat. And I'm going to mauve shadow, some shadow on that. Right, I've got a cool grey 042. I think we just put a little bit of grey. Got so much colour going on everywhere else that I think a neutral grey is probably good for us at this stage. All right, what's left? What's left is these bubbles. So I'm going to do these bubbles differently to these bubbles. So these bubbles I'm going to use frost blue. And I just want to sort of fill them like that, leave some white there. And then I'm going to bring in, let's use turquoise, a bit of turquoise. And then some lemon chiffon. And then I'm going to grab my colourless blender, just do a bit of blending in there. For these ones I'm going to do a fresh blue. With a little bit of turquoise blue. Some lemon chiffon. And then a little bit of colourless blender. Just to make that all go together. All right, now we come to the fun part. We're going to bring the white in. I've got a jelly roll, but you could use anything really. And I just want these eyes to be white. A bit of bleeding's occurred. So let's just fix that. And no one will ever know. A little bit on these eyes as well. And that one's even got a little bit up there. All right, now let's look at these water bubbles. I really want to make them look like bubbles, so I'm going to put white reflections onto them. So now I'm going to play with a little bit of white in here. I think all that's left is to highlight our little creatures. If you can do that without smudging, you could wait maybe for it to dry. I'm going to bring these ones in a little bit, just to give it that look of jelly. Maybe make them a little bit thicker. These fish look a little bit worried. Maybe it's because jellyfish, do they eat fish? Yeah, maybe there's nefarious things going on. And just as a final thing, I'm going to bring my colourless blender in. Just take out some of the colour. In the ring around these jellyfish. And my hope is that it'll make it look a little bit transparent. Get some, because it'll look like that water's sort of shining through them. It'd also look like a little bit like jellyfish rosy cheeks, won't it? And I think we're done. So much fun. Were we ready for this jelly, people? Were we? I think we were. I think we were ready. And I'm really happy with how that's come out. I love my pink jellyfish floating in that little ocean scene. So much fun. Well, I hope you enjoyed doing that as much as I did. Remember to like and subscribe, guys. And for now, I'm going to say goodbye. But I shall no doubt see you in another video. See you later, guys.